beautiful day here in Central Oregon, and I'm real pleased we're going to have a cup of coffee with a guy named Casey, and he has such an interesting story. I think you're going to really enjoy it. Thank you.
My name is Casey Olsen. I'm from right here in Central Oregon. Been here about 30 years.
If somebody's going to say, who is Casey, what would they say?
Honest, hardworking, down-to-earth person who likes to help people. I was born in 1987. My late grandfather, Raymond Olsen, was a saddle maker from John Day, and he worked for the Fish and Game before he started his business. I am disabled. I have cerebral palsy, but so sometimes I ran into some challenges, but I figured out ways to deal with my struggles by motivating myself to do the best I can be. When people told me I can't do it, I figure out a way that I can do it. It takes me a while, but I do figure it out. And I became very successful when people have doubted me. I don't know if I can do it until I try to do it. But don't tell me I'm not going to do it, because that's when I want to do it more. Those are the values I learned from my dad, is work hard and it will come. It could take a while, but if you stay positive and work at it, every goal takes time. The people you're talking to, you have to build a trust with them, and you cannot tell them you're going to do something or call them and not call them, because you're breaking their trust. And if you're going to make it in this world, you have to have not only trust yourself about what you're saying, but let the other people trust you. And if you let them down once, they're going to say, oh, I'm not going to talk that guy. I don't trust him. I got the positive attitude because I got tired of people asking me, are you sure? And then I ran into a inspiration of mine, a friend, and I started telling her a little bit about me. She was actually one of the bus drivers, because I don't have my license. She was a bus driver of mine, and she picked me up one time, and from that point forward, I talked to her because I told her a little bit about myself, and she said, well, my family's the same way. And I said, I'm tired of doubting myself, and I feel bad because I know I can. I just don't have the motivation to do it. And she said, you know what? Stop all that nonsense. I got your back. If you want it, go get it and go do it. And so that's where I got my motivation, is somebody actually once believed in what I was telling them. If it wasn't for that person pushing me to the next level, I don't know if I'd be here right now, because there was so many people that doubted me.
How did you get involved in the rodeo type thing?
I was born into it, and I actually learned to rope before I learned to walk. I was making money. People didn't believe that I was left-handed, and in the roping world, you cannot head steers left-handed because the steer has to be turned left, so you'd be turning him into yourself. And they said, oh, you can't head it. And I would say, oh, yeah, you want to bet $5? I can. And I would rope the dummy, slick horns, I'd said 10 times. And so I started hustling my dad's customers, and I picked up a rope and used it a little bit. Then as I got older, I trained myself, and that's how I used to, before I was able to compete on horseback, I would hustle my dad's customers at the ropings in the high school rodeos. I'd tell my dad, give me $50. And he said, how much money you got? I don't know, a couple hundred. They'd come to my trailer and try to outrope me, and I just picked up a rope, and it became natural to me after my dad showing me a few times. I depend on the city quite a bit my transportation needs, but my dad said, "You need a ride?" No. I got the bus coming. If it don't pick me up, I got the taxi coming. I figured out ways to use my resources to get me around town without feeling that I'm holding somebody back. Because if I'm asking somebody for a ride, then that's putting into their schedule. I like the independence of myself. And if I want to go do it, I do. I figure it out.
Some people get depressed when they have things like disabilities or adversity, bad stuff happens. How does a person overcome those kind of feelings?
You just have to talk to yourself and maybe find that connection like I done. If it's not coming through to your parents, because back when I was a kid, my parents worked a lot. The rodeo was our life. So when my dad was out there roping, that was my lifestyle. That was his way of work. If we weren't roping, we weren't earning, because we sold more out of our trailer in a pickup truck than we ever sold in the store, because we were getting it out. People weren't having to come find us. And so I would say to overcome their situation is find that connection. I don't care if it's somebody you don't know, stop and say hi to them. Maybe you could talk, say, "Hey, do you have time to sit down and listen to me?" And maybe create a friendship of somebody that if you're having a problem, you can call them on the phone and say, "Hey, can we visit?" Just find that connection, whether it's in your heart, whether it's at a church, whether it's taking a walk, whether it's going fishing. Find something that connects to you. Some of my proudest moments is being one of my dad's only kids to graduate high school, building this guy's business to what I built it today. It's worth over $1 million, and all I did that with was a cell phone and using my talking skills. People ask me now, "What do you do for a living?" I get paid to talk to people like you. That's what I do. And my aspirations, my dad taught me, what you build today is going to support your family the next 15 years. And so that's why I never look back. I know one time my dad had 2 jobs, but you know what? We always had a roof over our head and food in our bellies. It might not have been the best jobs, but my dad made sure that the family was taken care of, and so that's what he's instilled in me.
If you're going to give advice to kids about life and stuff like that, what kind of advice would you give them?
No matter what is thrown out at you, you get through it, and you just don't worry about what could happen or what would be happening. If you want it, go get it, because there's a lot of people out here in this world that are having struggles, and homeless people and drug addicts, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes on. But that's what that's what those people want. And what I would recommend is be better than those people. You always want to be the best you can be. Find that connection so you can soar to other avenues and soar to your biggest and fly your biggest kite. I only graduated high school. I don't have no college degree. I learned it by the cowboy way. You're either gonna buck up and do it and talk about it and get it done with, or you're not gonna do it. I go to church because I've been down some tough roads once in a while. And when I can't make that connection with somebody or have that minute to talk to somebody, I gotta reach out and maybe ask God a few questions. Am I going the right way? I might not always get the right answers, but at least he's there when somebody is not there. It's and people say, well, cowboys don't go to church. Let me tell you something. Cowboys do go to church because they're out there on that road making their living. They get injured. At every rodeo I go to, They have a cowboy church every Sunday. Cowboys do go to church, and real men do cry. Yeah,
Casey, how would you like to be remembered?
I want to be remembered as somebody that anybody can look up to or turn to when they're having problems, because due to my disability, I look up to people. And I remember somebody telling me one time, if you want to be a champion, you hang out with champions. And you don't tell them that you're hanging out with them to know their tendencies. You just pick them up, then you use it to your advantage, and you outwork the champion. You become a champion yourself. I want to become a motivational speaker. My thoughts are, due to my disability, I've been down a lot of roads, and people told me no, and I said, I got involved with my one friend, a bus driver, and there was no more no. If you want it, then go do it. If you're having a bad day, pick up that phone, because I talk to anybody. Call me on the phone. Let me know what's up. Maybe I can meet you for coffee. And I'm not no miracle worker, but people look up to me because I've been successful, and I want to help that next man or person in depression hit their next peak. This could be my last time walking across the parking lot. I never know when my disability is going to get the best of me, but I live every day like it's going to be my last, because I never know. You just have to live in the moment. Live in the moment. Do whatever makes you feel good. If you want to do something, then do it. Because if you don't live in the moments are going to pass you up. And years from now, you're going to say, man, I wish I would have called that guy because he told me to live in the moment. I don't know what I would do if I had to go out and get a job by the hour doing something, because that's not me. I'm able to talk to people. That's me. I just want to be me. I don't want people to tell me, oh, you should go do this. I don't want to do that. My name is Casey, and the reason I have a good attitude is because you ain't gonna get nowhere in life if you're always thinking negative and poor. And if you're thinking poor, boys, you're gonna be poor, boys. Hang out with the champions. I did, and this is why I'm talking to you right now, because I want to be a champion.
Well, thanks a lot, Casey, for taking the time today for this little interview, and I think we learned a lot, and very motivating person. So thanks a lot, Casey, for taking the time.
No problem. Thank you for taking your time. Thank you.